Hey, good Wednesday morning, everybody. It is the 12th, it's 12/12/12, if you will. It's about 9:01. And as you can see up there, it's another fan recommendation. I haven't done one of these in quite some time. But I'm going to recommend somebody that I've actually discovered in the past few months. Somebody that actually takes very iconic, I guess you could say characters, if mostly female, iconic animated female characters of the past, I guess you could say 20 to 10 years, and puts them in a situation, puts them in situations that are unique and funny and just overall fun to read. Now, they're not the only one I want to recommend either. There's another person as well. Both of them, of course, you can find at DeviantArt. One, you can find at DeviantArt, fanfiction.net, and here on YouTube. The people I'm talking about are Ilquiam, I'm going to call him Ilquiam. I think that's how you pronounce the first name, Ilquiam Reyes. And the other one is Jose-Ramiro. I'll provide the links down below to several of the sites. Now, Ilquiam, I did talk about a little bit in my video where I mentioned that I had a new backup channel here on YouTube. And of course, sorry about that. I want to thank anybody that's subscribed. Jamie Tood, all you guys, I want to thank you guys for subscribing so far. Continue to build up the subscriptions because, like I said, with things going on lately, you never know what's going to happen next. Anyway, these two individuals kind of play off each other, if you will. You see, this Jose guy is he's a good artist. I'll give him this. He's more like a cartoon-like artist. More of a, he'll draw the characters, but he'll mainly color them in. He's not like, let's say, a Bring On the Thunder at DeviantArt. No, he's not. He's not like a Trunks 24 there either. He's mostly a guy that he'll draw the characters sort of like in a crayon kind of style, not crayon style, but sort of a colored pencil style with a little mixture of crayon. He's mostly known, if you look at his, when you look at his gallery, he's mostly known for doing like boxing or wrestling matches, doing pictures of those things between female characters and male characters as well. And intergender is the same thing. He's also known for doing something else that Ilquiam plays off of a lot, and I think that's what a lot of people should do sometimes. They need to play off somebody else that gives them that can give them an idea just from an artistic standpoint. What I'm talking about is the fact that he has several pictures that he has created over the years, where he's had certain iconic female characters, drawn, where he's drawn certain iconic female characters, if you will, from animation, with not just new outfits, if you will, but with a certain ability. This ability that he draws them and that Ilquiam plays off of for his stories is elasticity, if you will. Elasticness, if you will. Basically shape-shifting, basically rubberness. Okay, let me put it. Basically, he basically takes characters, female animated characters and some male ones as well, and gives them the powers of elasticity. In other words, allows them to basically have the bodies like rubber. In other words, they could basically shape-shifting. That's it. I just should say that, shouldn't I? Just shape-shifting. That's what he puts in these pictures, and that's what Ilquiam plays off of. Or sometimes uses for inspiration and vice versa. And what I mean by vice versa is sometimes Jose will read his stories like I have, and Jose will actually draw a scene related to it. For example, one of my favorite characters everybody knows is Sally Acorn from Sonic the Hedgehog. And there's several scenes. Actually I think there's 2 pictures, actually 3 pictures, 3 pictures where Jose has drawn Sally using her powers. Now she's either drawn her shape-shifting into, let's say, a vorump, into a curvaceous, slender figure, one that would make you, like, say, let's say you're looking at the most beautiful woman in the world, if you will. You're looking at the most beautiful woman in the world. That's basically one of the pictures he's drawn Sally using her powers with. He's also drawn Sally, and this is the same with other characters, stretching the body out, kind of showing, how far they can stretch their arms and their legs. And, it's not just Sally he stopped with either. He's done this with Fiona Fox, but here's the unique perspective about that, and this goes to Ilquiam's stories. In Ilquiam's first story, based around the situation, one of the chapters has Fiona switching bodies with Nicole. So in other words, Nicole finally gets to know what it's like to be flesh and blood, but she's inhibiting Fiona's body. Basically, her mind was transferred into Fiona's body. Fiona's was transferred into a computer chip, which got inserted into a robotic body with the same kind of abilities, but not as much. Again, not to give too much away in case you guys haven't read those stories yet. But again, it's not just, Sally's drawn. Like I said, he's drawn Fiona, he's drawn Amy Rose, he's drawn Lita and Lyko, the wolf twins from the wolf pack. He's drawn, I guess you could say, Luke's daughter in there, Marie, I think. He's given Amy Rose. I mean, he did a story. There was a chapter in that first story where you had Amy and Luke get accidentally fused together. So basically, they were like, the only way they switched out, it's like the only way anybody knew who was who in that body, which was Luke's body, but they were fused in it. And I guess a picture kind of shows that the only difference was the change in outfit and the hammer was the eye color. So basically they had to be defused through a special technique by using their powers, which was, of course, elastic powers, shape-shifting powers that they had gained, and they became separate. And there you go. But like I said, Sally wasn't the only one he stopped with. And those aren't the only characters either. Those aren't the only characters either. He's actually used characters as well from the Alpha Omega CGI movie, which is a very good movie. He's used the 2 main females in the Alpha Omega series. He's used, I think, other sort of like semi-main characters, or co-minor character females in a sequel, and basically gave them both, all 4 ladies, the elastic powers. Those elastic powers and everything. But again, he didn't just stop with them. He even gave some of the minor male characters different kind of powers as well. It's like he gave one the power of speed, the power of eye, the other the power of ice, fire. He just went all over it. And that's Ilquiam. That's Ilquiam, not Jose. But that's Ilquiam. But again, Jose plays off of what he reads in the stories, and Ilquiam kind of plays off what he sees Jose draw. To me, it's like a great collaboration there, because you have someone willing to actually draw something that a lot of people will find interesting and think, oh, that's kind of unique. I never thought about that. But then, of course, you'll have the jackasses out there that'll be like, oh, that's stupid and all that. To me, don't listen to the jackasses. Listen to the positives. But what I'm saying, though, is basically you have them playing off each other when it comes to artisticness and writing. And again, it's not just, like I said, the powers of stretching, being able to change the shape, size, and all that, but it gives them, these characters, and it's mostly females they work with, the powers to do more than just that. For example, one of the powers that he gives the female characters with their elastic abilities is the ability to basically melt down, basically do a meltdown, or do do the, I guess it's TV tropes. I guess it's TV tropes calls it. Allows them to do the melting situation. And basically what it does, it allows the power, one of the powers that Ilquiam gives them, that we haven't seen in paper yet, in artistic form yet, but one of them that Ilquiam gives them is the power to be semi-liquid. In other words, be completely melted, near complete liquefaction, as they call it, liquefaction, if you will. But just enough to be able to slip through cracks and all that. There was one scene, a training scene, where Sally, with her powers, when she first got them, had to try to figure out how to get out of a certain situation. And she just realized, you know what? I got to end up going semi-liquid. She ends up going semi-liquid, and basically by doing so, just completely keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking in that form until it's like, poof, she's gone. And the next thing you know, she's coming out like the air vent, like from over here or from right there, and just reforming. And again, it's not just that power either, and like I said, it's not just the power to shape the body and everything, but also he gave them the power to, you know, be clothed, to actually act like somebody's clothes or somebody's battle armor. Like I said in the first story, and there's actually some pictures that Jose did on this. And I think it was either vice versa or something like that. Ilquiam got the ideas from there, or Jose got the ideas from the story. But basically, you have Sally being trained by Loop how to, you know, use her powers and everything, or trying to find the advantages and the weaknesses with the powers. Because one of the shapes that Sal did was a wolf shape. So Loop said, you know, basically agreed, hey, I'll teach you how to be a wolf when you use that shape, how to use the wolf senses and stuff. But then they kind of got into more ideas and kind of became a little bit more mischiefy at times, just a little bit of fun kind of deal. And Loop suggested, and again you can see the pictures of this, Loop suggested to Sally in some of these scenes, not to give too much away, to try to shape herself as, you know, body armor. Basically, because what they were doing was Sally was shaping herself into certain weapons, like a shield, a bow, a spear, a javelin, you know, a gauntlet, which went on the arm. And after the gauntlet deal is when Luke got the idea, you know what, maybe we should see what you could do as full body armor. And that was the unique perspective there. And that was pretty good. You look at the picture, you kind of see what the result was. One of the niche parts about it, one of the unique parts was, when one of the last things that Sally forms on Loop when she's becoming the body armor, when she's shaping herself into the body armor for Loop, is she puts this glass over her eyes. She basically puts like, well, her eyes open, like it's a mask. She actually forms a bit of a glass kind of fixture, and it's like, I'm like, wow. Out of all the shape-shifting kind of things I've read and watched throughout the years on television, in animation, I've never seen any character, male or female, be able to actually shape glass around, some kind of glass frame around the person's eyes if they're acting like their outfit or their armor. And again, you know, it's not just the armor part either. She's actually done the Jester part. She's done Amy's part, which I thought the whole Amy outfit that Loop has a picture of, and you guys can see that at Jose's gallery, was about. You know, it probably is both ways. But again, it's all these kind of things that they play off each other when it comes to art and stories. And again, like I say, that is a unique combination that I think a lot of people should do. A lot of people should do because, you know, it helps the person, if you will, get noticed. And it helps the person who is a writer, a fan fiction writer, or a fan artist, get noticed for what they're able to do. And I'll be back in a second.